Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Secretariat. This is the 2010 film. It's 2 hours and 4 minutes long. Yes, it's about the possibly the greatest, well, it's considered the greatest racing horse of all time. If you don't already know the story, I mean, if you consider, you kind of know how it ends. If he's the greatest racing horse of all time, will he win the Belmont Stakes? Will he get the Triple Crown? I don't have to spoil it for you. It's pretty much they made a movie about it that took place. It's a 10, it's almost 40 years later. This happened in 1973, but the origin of all this goes back into the late 60s when a woman named, to make sure I get her name right, Penny Chenery, she her mother passes away, and she's gone goes back to home from she has a family in Colorado, like four kids and a husband in Colorado, just basic wealthy white family in Colorado. And she I can't remember where her dad lives at the time, but she has to go back and take care of her dad for a little bit. He has dementia a little bit, and he's not doing so good himself. But his his wife passes away, and she's there to oversee things. And along the way, she takes a really strong interest in the horses that he's been raising and breeding and racing for decades. He is one of the most beloved, as far as I can tell, at least in this film, the men in that realm. It's in that realm of horse racing. So when he kind of goes, there's some that try to take advantage of him, and there's some that stand by him and his family no matter what. And this is, of course, it's a very small part of it, but it sets the foundation for who Penny is and why she's doing it. And she does it to a degree that it sort of estranges her family. She's not there for important moments. She has to travel each time. She has to get in a plane, so it's far enough away that she's just not going to town over. But it shows the struggles she has in trying to save the farm. It's not one of those, hey, let's do a bikini car wash kind of save the farm thing. It's the farm isn't doing too great, and so she realizes what they have. They have an opportunity to, with a coin toss, to choose the foals from the a great, powerful stallion. With a coin toss against the richest man in the world or the United States or something like that. He's like a big deal at the time, and they had the opportunity to flip for a coin to choose. There's two of them coming, and they get to choose which one. And of course, well, she ends up with Big Red here, which he's red. He's not Secretariat yet, but it's actually the one she wanted, and nobody really counted on this one being the better of the two horses. So yeah, I don't want to ruin everything for you. I mean, honestly, if I never really had an incredible interest in horse racing. I grew up not too far away from a racetrack, and I'd been to a few horse races when I was younger. I had a friend who had a horse that raced a little bit here and there, but I was never really there a whole lot. So it was interesting to a point, but it was nothing that I was like, oh my gosh, I got to see Secretariat. I kind of think that have seen this before, but I don't remember. I honestly, if I did, it completely erased from my mind. But I mean, it should be memorable if I saw it because of the great cast. We got Diane Lane as Penny. She's headstrong. She's looked down upon by everybody else. It's a very white male dominated thing, and also there's other subplots, by the way, that are carried by different characters throughout this, including Eddie Sweat, played by Nelson Ellis. You might recognize him as Lafayette from True Blood. He passed away a number of years ago, but he plays the man. He's a black man who, even in late 60s, early 70s, still wasn't really getting a whole lot of respect, and certainly isn't going to get to hang out with all the rich people, even though he's the man who spent the most time with Secretariat throughout his entire life, raising him, training him, feeding him, taking care of him in every way, and a huge amount of credit goes to him for making the horse who he is, what he was on that track. It's a big deal, and they they've the family, Penny's family, kind of becomes a sort of a subplot. There's a subplot with her oldest daughter, who's against the war, who's very much the opposite of her dad and her brothers. And they're all kids; they just take after what their parents believe. Obviously, you know how that is. Um, but she's very much anti-war, and she wants to put on a musical or a play in school that's very political and anti-war and socialist and all that other crap. So, not crap. I mean, it's all that stuff that everybody denounces, and it's a subplot that isn't necessary. Really, it doesn't really go anywhere except that it's important to her. And unfortunately, Penny is wrapped up so much in helping with Secretariat that she misses out on a very important moment for her daughter. And I get the feeling that there was supposed to be maybe more to all of this, but it kind of sort of gets gets put by the wayside. And their husband is also her husband is also really down on this. He's pretty much, you know what, they're willing to pay us $7 million or even $8 million to buy the horse. Like the richest guy in the world or whatever at the time, he's willing to spend millions just to take the horse, take Secretariat, because he's winning races. Will he win the Triple Crown? Who knows? I mean, but you know, here we go. And she turns him down. So it's and the husband's like, when he finds this out, he's just like, you know what? We're gonna keep our finances separate when it comes to this kind of thing. I don't want to go down with the ship, you know, and that's kind of discouraging for Penny. But it's again, it's a sort of a it shows the estrangement, the struggle that she went through, but it doesn't seem like a very rough struggle. The biggest struggle they go through between her and the trainer, which is played by John Malkovich. His name is Lucien Lauren. He's French, and Lucien, and also who else? There's a oh yeah, it's mainly her. It's mainly her, trainer Lucien, and Ronnie Turquette, who's the jockey. His name is played by Otto Thorwath. Otto Thorwath. He's short. Well, especially when you stand him next to somebody like, well, geez, where is he? Why can't I remember his name? Come on. Good grief, he was in Star Trek. Why can't I say that? Say the name. I thought he'd be much more accessible right from the start. Dang it, where are you? Anyway, yeah. Anyway, he's a big deal in this. He's the richest man in the world, but when he's super tall. James freaking Cromwell. Holy crap, why can't I think of his name? Anyway, you stand this jockey next to James Cromwell, and they can't even fit in the same frame. They have to shoot it from a certain angle just to put their heads in the same shot. It's really crazy. But anyway, it's Penny spends a lot of her time just helping, overseeing the training of the horse and everything else, and also fending off people who are pretty much belittling her. There's no real bad guys in this movie. There's awful people who treat her like crap, or diminish her accomplishments, demean her in front of the press. And a lot of it's self-doubt, but they're really just dealing with people who put them down. And again, there's nobody mustache twirling. I'm going to kill the horse or poison the horse. Let's trip him on the track. There's none of that stuff. This is based on a true story, and yes, there might be certain things enhanced for dramatic effect, but I think it stays pretty true to the original story. I gotta mention Margot Martindale's in this also. If you know who she is, she's a treasure and she's awesome. And you might know her. She's like the sweet grandma who can also play a badass at the same time. She was in Justified, and she was like the season 2 big bad to go against Raylan. It's kind of funny, but she's also funny because she's a character and an in-joke on BoJack Horseman, the animated series about a Hollywood horse star. Ooh, wow, she's got connections with horses. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, Margot Martindale's in this also. She's kind of awesome. So I had to mention her. Dylan Walsh shows up as Penny's brother, struggling again with finances between him and her, and the family legacy and everything else. And she's taking every risk to support Secretariat in his bid to win. And the horse has a lot of character. A lot of them don't really realize that this horse almost seems human, that he reacts to certain things. He's almost posing, some people think, at times when they're taking his picture. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, if you're not even interested in horse racing, you still might get something out of this. You might still enjoy this. It's a slow burn drama, really, but it's not. I shouldn't say it's slow, but it hits all the normal notes you get in a sports movie. It's the rise, then the setback, and then, oh my gosh, is he injured? Will he be able to recover? Is he, that kind of stuff, and then of course the overcoming all odds to become the greatest racehorse in history, and how he does it, well, it's pretty freaking amazing. I had to watch. I went on YouTube and watched the actual the third race, the Belmont Stakes, for the Triple Crown. I watched that race as it was broadcast on television, and holy cow, it was real. It's how they shot it is almost exactly in time with how it was in real life. It's much more beautifully shot than watching on TV from one static angle, but yeah, with music and voiceovers and all sorts of dramatic editing and everything else, just makes you want to cheer with everybody else. And one of the things, as the horse starts winning, of course, then the family sort of gets brought in, and the husband sort of also gets brought in a sense, to going, oh man, this is actually a cool thing. This is something, maybe we should have been supporting her from the start. And they cheer mom on. They're like, mom's actually on TV. That's crazy. So yeah, so everything culminates in a big emotional reckoning for everybody across the board. And we do get a where are they now kind of series things at the very end, telling you what happened to each person, including the Secretariat. Although they don't tell you what happened to Secretariat. He's gone now, but you look it up, it's pretty easy to find out what happened to him. It was, I'm not going to tell you. But when it comes to this race, though, if you become invested at all in these characters, especially Secretariat, you might find yourself yelling at the TV and cheering on this horse into the final stretch. It's kind of crazy. Because I was going, oh my God, how is this even possible? Just like some of the characters, like, this is a horse that is, he's kind of unruly. He's kind of got his own way of doing things. Even with a great jockey like Ronnie, who pushes his horses really hard, to the point that one horse's heart exploded, which, they're like, that's a risk that they might end up having, that might be facing at some point. But Secretariat loves to run, and he's a horse that's known for speed, but he's not good in the long run. He's not as good as others like his father before him. He doesn't have the stamina to maintain the longer stretches. His foe, his rival, Cham, has that longevity, and Miguel Ferreira is his owner, and he's very cocky and a great head-to-head kind of owner-rival kind of thing going on there in the latter part of the film. He's the closest thing to a bad guy in this, except for he's just there to agitate our heroes. So, but yeah, it's one thing when you see, and I'm not going to tell you how he wins. It's something to watch. If you're not going to watch the movie, go look up the Belmont Stakes with Secretariat 1973, and just watch that race. It's 4 minutes long. But I really recommend watching this film. I didn't think I would like it as much as I did, and it's pretty freaking great. So, yeah. But yeah, when you see him coming out of the gate, unlike any way he's done before in previous races, you're like, there's no way he's going to win. There's no way he's going to maintain this. And then, yeah, things happen. It's kind of kind of super crazy. But yeah, I won't tell you anything more. Enjoy it for what it is, and you know, Secretariat, kind of crazy. Let's pick tomorrow's episode.
4.
4. Well, way down at the top, way up at the top here of the list. Bitches. Yep. Oh no. Dang it. Oh well. Merry Christmas? Yes, it's one of the numbered episodes. I thought we were going to get a 101 Dalmatian type film because there's a bunch of those that we haven't seen yet. But we get 12 Dates of Christmas. I can't remember who's in that because I kept seeing it around Christmas time. Kept showing up whenever you type in a number. But yeah, so we're gonna go back and watch a Christmas movie next. So that'll be fun in September. We're a little early. So hey, happy Labor Day weekend. So anyway, I'll see you back here tomorrow on Labor Day for 12 on literally Labor Day, the 12 dates of Christmas. See you then. Bye.